So it seems though a lot of groups, a lot of people, they believed a lot of lies. And then they try to make me believe the lies too. They try to convince me of their lies. Acting and pretending unaware, yet can be aware. Yet continuing something so I could go in their narrative or go in their math. They want to infect me, in other words. I don't want to be infected with their weird thoughts, perspectives, beliefs. Nothing to do with reality. You know, overall, I did this so I could understand overall what was going on. Me being a quote unquote candidate of this, while having a regular life while going through enlightenment processes, is realistically true. Is realistically the answer. A lot of groups believed a lot of lies. They couldn't believe the fact that they were believing a lot of lies, partaking in a lot of lies. In other words, you looked for a lot of lie excuses. Look for a lot of lie excuses. Realistically, if everybody did everything correctly, everything worked correctly. I don't think everybody did everything correctly. I think they made it seem that they did everything correctly. Remember, the elements are very, very important. The work that people do every single day, what they produce every single day, what occurs every single day, to then be able to make something out of something. Some people said, "Oh, look, the person doesn't know that, doesn't know that, doesn't know that. We can do this, we can do this, we can do this." Even if I don't know something, even if I wasn't aware of something, doesn't equal I'm not aware of something, and much more. And doesn't equal just because I'm not aware, somebody else is unaware also. Some of these groups, what they did is they sat back and heard everybody and watched everybody and observed everybody for days, weeks, and months. Then attempted to adapt to everybody's reaction, everybody's opinion, everybody's thoughts. However, the problem is they made wrong choices, wrong decisions, those groups. Some people may say, "Oh, well, just save your information." No, I have infinite things to say. That's what truth is. Truth is ongoing. There's hundreds of thousands of millions of important things to mention, so something can be registered correctly. And people can make correct choices and decisions with the information known. You can't be ignoring the information. There's a lot of groups, they're trying to give me different types of impressions. They don't flatter me very well. You should get the heck out of my channels and my everything. They believe some type of weird thing, disregarding elements, unaware of 10,000 things. And they're trying to make me believe something that is false. Could be part of the issue. Instead of growing with issue, it seems like a poking sensation is going on with those particular groups. Oh, oh. So realistically, everything you can imagine that's making sense, and I can even write down everything that making sense, similar to what I did before in terms of filtering out information is also part of the work. However, that also varies with me because if I do that, then people get the answers in terms of depending on what, and then try to create some type of a different narrative. I believe what people are doing is they're looking for a million and one lie excuses to justify their doings. You know, well, that's why we don't do that. That's why we don't do that. Nah, just lie excuses to justify their stupidity. That's all. They've done this on themselves. Those groups versus groups that did that on themselves, changed and fixed everything, versus groups that continued. Remember, 4 years can equal 4 days. 4 years can equal 4 months. Depending on everything that ever occurred. Less than realistically. So you're supposed to understand the story correctly, and then after understanding the story correctly, you're supposed to make correct choices and decisions. The entire time, this is what I've been doing early, trying to understand the story correctly, to be able to then share my information, people to understand the phenomena and do everything correctly. Very, very weird reality some people are living. And they're trying to affect me, make me accustomed to their weird reality. People know they're aware. They're only pretending not to. And that's also a problem too. Those specific groups that are doing whatever they're doing. Okay, there's something else going on. Let's try to see what this is. Many groups and people, they're entirely innocent, you know? People are doing favors for one another. Wrong favors, remember. Any form of wrong favor is not called a favor. Don't do any form of wrong favors. A favor has to be in terms of being true. Cannot be any form of lies. Lies are not called favors. You're just calling a word a word. What a lie thing is, anything that's lies in terms of unjust lies, realistically is a harm called a favor. Many groups lost. Their winnings was okay. If we lose, we could give people impressions. This we could do this buyout to try to fool people, to try to then delay something, lag something, and then prolong something, and then get our doings. I believe a lot of deterring is going on, submitting is going on, messing with people so they can not care, not who cares. People ask for trouble, and asking for trouble, those groups, something fed in the narrative so they could justify their wrongdoings. Realistically, a lot of irrelevant, useless things of what they're doing via playouts. To me, they're wrong. To something someone else in terms of something maybe needed, I don't know. I wouldn't even suggest so because something has to do with some type of a lie agenda, nothing to do with what reality is. Some people from the mix, they want to go to being distinguished to where everything is supposed to be. Well, even though that works too, even though that's also true and that works also, what I'm doing also works too in terms of everything. Truth works wherever anybody's doing. Everything is true. Everything in truth works. Doesn't matter if you're here. Doesn't matter if you're there. Doesn't matter if you're there. Doesn't matter if, whatever anybody, wherever anybody is, they're true. They're the answers. Answers work. No one can say the answers don't work. You know how people can understand and realize what to mix, what to refrain from mixing. No matter what, anything anybody does, something still has to make sense. Something still has to be a puzzle. If you're mixing, that also has to be a puzzle. Whether that's a puzzle of the most highest puzzle, or middle puzzle, or least puzzle, is also the question too. Mixing is also true if something makes sense. Yet something has to be a puzzle. From 1 through 100%, how much of a puzzle is something realistically? Is the question. Obviously, the more 100% everything is, the more 100% will be paid for, the more 100% everything will be. Absolute. That's what I'm trying to do. You know, how much of a 100% of anything is anything going to be? Well, that's what's reality. Should something make less sense, or should something make more sense, or should something make absolute sense of what the answer really is? I'm that type of a person. Anything less for me, realistically, doesn't really. It's not me. I can settle for. It will make sense. Yeah, everything will be good. However, what's the most correct? Well, finding the most correct within, being the most correct within, and then exploring a wide variety of everything outside, and creating and understanding and connecting the dots and everything, and changing everything according to the most absolute is realistically the answer. So, how much of a sense is somebody making? Less, more, or most? Well, you got to consider all elements, all understanding, all beliefs, all experiences, all effects, everything with everything to be able to realistically understand everything with everything. So, with specific elements, people are very, very wrong. Okay? They're very wrong. The entire point is people are wrong in elements, know what the elements are that they're wrong, and fix and change their elements. Disregarding is a form of weakness. I'm not trying to disregard anything. I'm trying to realistically understand everything so I can then make correct choice decisions with everything. This is true that while I did understand a wide variety of doings and things, even though something was correct, I wasn't able to do because people did wrong measurements here and there and played wrong cards, and then expected different results from you or from somebody else. Manuel?
George.
Hey, what's up? Well, hey,
Oh my
hey, how
God.
are you? I don't want to say that "what's up" word anymore. You know that "what's up" word has a wrong attachment, wrong feel to that word.
It has a very non-serious tone.
It doesn't make sense.
Good to
The
see
more
you.
people, the more people attain knowledge, the more they're gonna stop. They're gonna
Like,
refrain
what's up,
from,
bro?
huh?
Like, what's up, bro? And all that shit.
Well, makes sense. There's a wide variety of people that are using the same word. However, for them equals something else. For somebody else equals something else. For somebody else equals something else. For somebody else equals something else too. However, the entire idea is what is the most correct, for that not to be said because that has a nonsense attachment, and the nonsense attachment is feeding some type of issue occurring. So if people refrain from using specific words, something will not be mixed anymore. Something will be what something realistically is, and there won't be any form of issue. That's generally true, even though there's specifications, that may vary. How are you?
Good, man. I'm just kind of thinking about everything you said.
Just today, or generally, you guys are like listening in.
I'm listening to you. Like, I'm generally like, I don't know. You have a lot to say, and I have a lot to learn.
Well, when you told me something about that something turns you on when you do something, what I was thinking about was me and what I experienced and how I was affected and what I went through. And something was similar to, was something natural of whatever you were doing in a specific moment, or was something unnatural that was affecting you to like make you scientifically feel that particular feeling and think that particular thing that you were thinking, you know? And there's a purpose to all of this in terms of what I'm mentioning, that scientific thing of technology or whatever anybody's doing. However, then there's people that are in other words, doing something in terms of copying, mimicking, and taking advantage of people, and that doesn't make sense. That's abnormal, whatever they're doing. So I'm a sense type of person. I'm not about bashing. I'm realistically about everything being fixed and restored and corrected. And so that's why I'm mentioning what I'm mentioning. So that people won't just jump into judgment, because there's a lot of blaming going on too, in terms of different timing, that people are trying to blame one another, a wide variety of things. In other words, a lot of things are all over the place. So the good idea, general rule of thumb, would be everybody in all elements being the answers of what is the most true, what is the most correct. So then everything can settle and everything can be where everything needs to be, and then people can then do whatever they're doing accordingly without having adverse effects to everything and everyone else. And then do so with the formula, do so with something that makes sense, so everything can realistically work out correctly. I don't know if you're keeping up with everything I'm saying.
Yeah.
However, there's more to the story of what I'm saying. Yeah, sorry, I'm also making a video while I'm speaking to you. I was like, should I pick up the phone or should I just wait and then end my video and then. Huh?
And you remember you used to be next to my locker, and and you used to sing in Spanish, and you were like, "Porque mañana?" And I was like, this fucker. I'm like, what does he learn novelas or something? Like, and I remember. Okay, I got in trouble once because you humped a locker next to me.
A what?
You did something to a locker next to me, a PE locker, and PE.
Mm-hmm.
And I got called to the office, and they were like, "Did you do that?" And it was a year, and I didn't know. But I never saw you after that, George.
When was that? Was that
You left
sixth or
maybe like eighth, seventh grade? You left.
I think I left sixth grade.
Like seventh, yeah.
Sixth or seventh, I don't remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. It was memorable to talk to you. You always had like a higher.
There was like a fight going on, so I went in the middle to try to like distract people so they won't fight. And I guess people thought
like
I did something wrong. Huh?
It was like Armenian versus black or something.
I don't know what was going on. There was a fight going on in the crowd, and I went in the middle to stop something. Somebody was trying to stop something at the same time I was trying to stop them. At the same time, somebody else was trying to stop something.
Yeah, and you got cut off.
Yeah, and so I guess I made a mistake in who I was trying to stop, and I guess I get kicked out because of that reason.
Miss Aguilar.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Miss Aguilar. Yeah, she decided to expel me.
She also expelled Stephanie.
Huh?
She expelled Stephanie too.
Who?
But Miss Aguilar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, good times. Good times.
I haven't talked to her over a year.
Yeah, I think what some people are doing is they're going off of people's pasts. They're seeing people in terms of what occurred, then they're claiming, oh, look, the person is similar to this, and then misjudging people possibly is what's occurring. A lot of people are misjudging
Yeah,
each
but it's
other,
not.
looking at people's past, now allowing people to change, and having a wrong
Yeah,
effect.
like yeah, no, Stephanie, like she's sober now.
Oh yeah,
I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her.
she's sober.
But yeah,
That's good.
in over a year, I think 2 years. Yeah, like I don't go out much anymore. Like before, like all the drinking and all that shit. It's just it really messes with my mind.
You know what? Me too. If I do drink, whatever I do in terms of something being normal, not any form of drugs or anything, I'm refraining from all that type of stuff. Um, I'm going to do so occasionally and with a purpose. If I smoke weed, if I drink, I'm going to do so with me doing something with a purpose, moderation,
Do you still smoke?
occasion. No, I stopped. I stopped smoking cigarettes a long time ago. I
Oh
stopped
my god, that's good. What
realistically. I
about weed?
stopped 4 years ago. Then I picked up again to see like what was going on, to test myself, and I stopped. I didn't want to smoke anymore. I was like, why the heck did I ever start smoking? At all.
Yeah, I started again. I quit like 2 years ago, and then I started recently, just to kind of like you said, test it out. And it doesn't feel good, It feels like nasty in my eyes. And shit. Like, do you still smoke weed?
Um, I haven't lately. However, recently I smoked, and to be honest with you, I had a weird experience. There was like weird playouts going on around me, so I didn't have the best experience. I tried to do so to just try to understand myself of what was what, if I could control myself, and all this type of stuff. And to me, it's very very easy now. In other words, I'm in control of something. Something is not in control of me.
Yes,
So that's the good
that's
news.
good.
Every single person, if they can control themselves, they can attain knowledge and be in control of everything. Instead of something
Yeah,
being in control of you, is realistically what the answer is.
yes, I
So
agree with that.
yeah, that's why I typed what I typed with you, because I was like,
You don't
maybe,
know what I'm talking about.
huh?
You were like, you were brainwashed. I mean, I don't know. What might have happened in preschool.
Well,
It's
most
weird.
people
So it's
are.
like
Most people are brainwashed.
it's weird.
Most people are brainwashed. Some people say, "Oh well, I was born gay." Well, I don't know. I don't know how somebody can be born gay. That just doesn't make sense with me.
What do you think happened?
Maybe there's some type of a technology abuse going on at a young age, where somebody scientifically manipulates something or someone. Look, there's a purpose to all of this, and I want people to bold the purpose point of this. There's a purpose to all of this, from my understanding, because of a wide variety of everything else that's going on with life. So it makes sense to counterbalance everything in terms of what may be occurring. However, there's a manipulation of that too, where something is without a purpose, and people possibly go do something and then forget about something, and then watch the person make choices and decisions throughout their life without realistically supporting them, to get out of that type of a mindset. I think
Yes.
I think there's some type of technology abuse that's going on, and this is not only happening to people that are changing and quote unquote being transsexual or gay. I think this is also happening to people that are regular, ordinary people that are smoking, drinking, saying weird thoughts.
Substance abuse.
Huh?
Is that like substance abuse?
Yeah, possibly. Getting a tattoo. Like people are seeing visions and thoughts and even feeling something. When I stopped smoking, I realized that when I stopped smoking, that I thought I wanted to smoke. There was a voice in my head saying, "Oh, I want to smoke again," like similar how I would talk to myself. Then I realized when I stopped smoking that something wasn't even me that wanted to smoke. Somebody was manipulating me to smoke. I'm not kidding.
Subconsciously.
Yeah, something seemed subconscious. Something felt subconscious. It sounds like your voice. It's something that you would do also. You know how you smoke and you do something. Well, in specific elements and specific moments with that element too, somebody would mention something, whatever anything is, that sounds like you. That sounds like you're thinking something. And realistically, something is not you thinking anything. Somebody's making you think something and making you see something and do something. And you think is you because you don't know who you are. I didn't know who I was before. And so upon understanding myself more and more and going through processes and changing myself of a variety of things I was doing, I realized that a lot of things weren't me. I only thought something was me.
Were you ever angry?
Was I ever angry?
Like, did you ever have like, or did you ever get angry fast? I used to get angry. I'm not gonna get that.
Yeah, I would, and I'm even choosing to get angry at this moment too. Like in terms of very specific elements, I can hold myself. However, I choose to get angry much more quicker than like not be angry.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay? Give me one. Hello. What is that? Oh, okay. What is it? I will grab this. Alright. Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna grab something really quick. I'll be right back.
All right.
Just gonna grab something.
Yeah. So speaking of anger, in terms of me controlling my anger, I couldn't choose to control my anger. I just don't choose to wear a mask in terms of masking the fact that I do get angry. Why? Because no one's supposed to be irritating or frustrating or making people grumpy to get angry. That's not normal.
Oh, okay.
That's abnormal behavior.
Hold on.
I can choose to refrain from getting angry. However, I choose to realistically show my anger because I'm trying to, paint the image of, hey, you know what? Just because I get angry doesn't equal I'm wrong.
Okay.
And somebody else may
Wait
be
on. I'll be
frustrating
back.
people, and they're not supposed to be doing
Sorry.
that. No one's supposed to be.
Sorry.
No one's supposed to be deliberately frustrating anybody.
Yeah. So you said you used to make yourself angry. Well, I have my brother and I. My brother is 20. We both are bipolar. Do you
What type
believe in
of
that disorder?
what? I was going to ask you what type of a bipolar. What's your definition of bipolar? Like mood
Bipolar, as
swings?
in mood swings. A lot of impulsive behaviors. Very reckless sometimes.
Where one minute you're thinking something else, another minute you're thinking something else, and another minute you're thinking something else.
Like when something kind of small sets you off, like something insignificant, to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that would normally not set people off would set me off and my brother. So we're both trying to, go through this therapy thing. And I don't know if it works or not, and I don't know if bipolar disorder.
Hold on, give me 1 second, Mario. 1 second. Those people that didn't do something with a purpose, that abused technology or whatever they did, all depends on elements, because who knows what timing, what belief, what effect, what experience, everything people had generally of what was going on. So the entire point is to stop, to change, to use power for the betterment, and everything to do with formula so everything can be understood correctly where everything belongs. So everything can realistically be solved.
Did you ever get angry like a lot?
Yeah, however, looking back in my life, I would say that a lot of things that occurred weren't me. Were sophisticatedly made to seem though something was stemming from me. However, um, had nothing to do with me, in other words. And then I realized that later, in terms of understanding myself, I realized in terms of who was realistically me and what wasn't me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did get angry. however, wasn't me. Versus now, something is different. Versus now, something is a different story in terms of what is occurring, and I'm choosing to show my emotions, so then people won't uh, claim or say that uh, something or someone else is wrong for being angry. You know, because think about this: no one is supposed to be frustrating somebody wrongly. You know, unless something is a test, something is an example, because there's more to the story to see ultimately in terms of what is what. However, realistically, this is a lie reaction, lie opinion, if you ask me. A lot of people are irritating people and seeing people's reactions and opinions and then making choices and decisions. The only problem is the choice decision you're making is wrong because the answer, what you're receiving, is also wrong. How? Because you're doing something wrong, you're receiving a wrong reaction, wrong opinion, and then you're making a choice decision that is also wrong. So nothing is realistically the right reaction, right opinion is the worst. Is the worst of what anybody's doing, you know? Instead of seeing somebody's correct and true idea, true perception, true thought, true process of however anything it is that they're thinking, somebody's doing something the opposite and then making a opposite decision. You know, that has nothing to do with reality. So that's the most important thing to stop anybody from the lie reactions, lie opinions. Yeah, what were you saying?
Like, did you ever make any? Did you ever? Did you ever get angry while you were high and reacted in a way where it was violent
Not really. No,
when you smoked weed?
I can't say I did. No, I don't remember. Maybe once in a blue moon. However,
Yeah, for me, like,
However, remember, when people do smoke weed, it's not just about smoking weed. Some people, who knows what type of weed they smoke, and who knows what type of effect and influence some people may be giving to one another. You know, the effect and influence in terms of what's going on and who's smoking and what is occurring. There's people that are attaching themselves to certain people that have nothing to do with reality. Some people are attaching me to something or someone else, and I'm starting to feel weird in my head, and I'm like, this is not how I feel. Somebody's attaching themselves to me, and I'm feeling very, very weird. You know, I know myself very well. That's the good thing. People knowing themselves very well, they can differentiate what is them, what is stemming from them, what is stemming from outside of them.
you're self-aware, self-awareness.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm very self-aware.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You know what? You know what this is. I believe people's thoughts, people's ideas, people's perceptions are all over the place, and I think people have to unlearn a variety of everything that they've learned, and then start from scratch, and then attain knowledge, being the first most priority. To then do everything else,
Yes.
because doing everything else will be all over the place too. So going back to mood swings, if what were we saying regarding mood swings?
Well, I have them a lot, and so does my brother.
You have what?
I get mood swings.
Yeah.
Like on a daily, you go up and down, and sometimes really ecstatic and happy, and then other times it's just like angry and thinking about like the wrongdoing that happened as a child. My dad used to be very violent.
You and your brother used to be
And
very violent towards your dad.
no, my dad used to be violent towards me, my brother, my mom, my sister, and I resent that, and it makes me angry sometimes, and it makes me think. But it's I think like I'm already 28, and I need to let go of that. I need to let go of all that shit. Let go of all that. Because I don't live with them anymore, and like I shouldn't let that overpower my emotions or whatever. But supposedly, according to the psychiatrist, I have the bipolar disorder. I think it's bipolar 2.
Yeah.
It's called. And I'm pretty sure I've had it since I was a kid. Like when I was at Sosa's, I had issues like learning and all that. Whatever. Like it was just hard. And then at the same time,
Did you watch a lot of cartoons, a lot of movies?
Do I watch movies?
Did you watch a lot of cartoons when you were young?
Like I used to watch Boomerang, but it didn't really have, I don't think, major.
Everything matters. Movies people watch, cartoons people watch, food people ate. Everything matters in terms of what it is.
So this is the thing. When I was 11,
Yeah.
I found my dad's porn.
You found your dad's what?
Porn.
Porn?
His porno.
Oh, when? How old were you?
11.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was a VHS.
That's funny because you're telling me the same story that happened to me.
For real?
Yeah.
Yes. You found your dad's porn at 11.
Uh-huh.
And it was like 80s porn. Like, I don't know, like VHS.
Maybe a little bit later. Maybe a little bit later, I think.
Like 90s, maybe. But I remember like seeing like, and I was like, whoa, like what is that? Why is he eating that? Vagina. And then I was like, and I kept watching it and watching it and watching it over and over. I don't know, I just thought it was like, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah, you know what, man? Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, like yeah, like you just kind of get drawn into it.
I guess. I haven't watched porn for 4 years now. Almost 4 years.
That's good.
Since January 6th of 2018, I think.
You don't watch
No.
any?
Hold on. What was that?
That's good. But you don't need it.
Oh, almost 4 years. Not 4 years yet. So it will be 4 years soon. 2019.
And you don't need it then.
Yeah, I stopped watching porn about 4 years ago. Almost been 4 years.
That's good. Because it's kind of, it distorts your whole idea, you know?
Bro, it's so abnormal.
It's
You know?
abnormal. Yes.
Somebody watching somebody's privacy. Can you imagine?
Somebody's what?
Somebody watching somebody's privacy, man.
Yes.
A lot of people lose and they. Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying it's strange. Like,
Yeah.
it's I don't know, not normal to see somebody else fucking.
Well, look. Not only is that not
But as a
abnormal.
kid, like, can you imagine like what that has an effect in your brain?
No, not just a kid. Even now, we're still a kid, man. You think people are grown up? People in 30s, 40s, they're kids still. They're not having grown up.
Are you 28 too?
I'm 29.
Okay.
If people realistically grew up in terms of being mature and adults and attaining knowledge and understanding, they would refrain from all this. I call this garbage, to be honest with you now. Because think about it. Not only is this abnormal on you watching somebody's privacy, this is abnormal in so many other elements and other levels. You know, if you understand everything of what's going on in the earth, you understand where everything is equaling to. You understand that every choice decision people are making similar to that, whatever they're doing, they're realistically adding on to more of a problem, more of a temporary, more of abnormalities. You know, something is not getting better.
Yes.
And you know, one thing to watch porn in terms of people's privacies, and another thing. Have you seen what goes on there? You know, in terms of something being abnormal and more abnormal and more literal of the abuse that takes place. There's abuse that goes on.
Abuse, yes. Towards anybody, like women.
Yeah, women, men. There's men that get abused too. And there's people that are limited. They can't say anything. They possibly see wrong visions, wrong thoughts, are threatened to continue to do something. Don't even want to be there, possibly. There's that too. This is similar to that. In the porn industry is very dark. A lot of nonsense has occurred there.
Yeah, a lot of drugs, like rape.
Yeah, gang rape. A lot of rape that occurs outside may be all interconnected to the porn industry. You know, Did you know that if you cheat, if you do anything that is cheating or anything you do, may realistically be attached to another element that somebody else cheats too, and you may not even understand that that's interconnected. However, maybe. And instead of people refraining, they're saying, "Oh, let's do this to see what this will do." You're not approaching something correctly.
In a way where you don't think of it as like a fantasy.
In other words, I can do something in terms of anything, whatever I do, and
Are you abstinent?
huh?
You're abstinent.
I don't know what that is. Abstinent?
Yeah,
I've heard that before. I just don't know what that is. Abstinent. What is that?
like you don't have sex.
No, you can have sex. You just can do so correctly, and you have to utilize that with your correct partner. Somebody being your puzzle, and do so in terms of something being sacred, not violent and all over the place the way you see the porn industry.
Yeah, yeah, because it makes it like animal.
It's perverted, bro. Perverted, wrong,
It's perverted.
and people abused. So I was so dwelled into that at one point of time before abnormal to normal. I was brainwashed and I was watching that, and I was so dwelled into that. I thought everything was normal, whatever I was seeing. You think something is normal, you know?
You think it's normal, yes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why am I getting turned on?
Yeah, and now thinking back, I used to wake up with a boner, and sometimes I still do, and I was like, I thought that was me. Now I realize there's some type of body tampering going on with technology.
It was like ideas. Like you had ideas that would make you fart.
No, not really. I would just wake up with a hard on. However, not really with a hard on because you know why? Something was unnatural, so something was not really the size of something either. That's another thing some people are doing. They're they're body tampering with people, and something is not the way something is supposed to be. In terms of anything, whatever anything is.
I mean, it still, I'm sure it still happens. But
To be honest
you
with you,
realize that it's normal.
this happened to me almost every single day. Before this happened to me, from time to time, I thought it was me. I never knew something was something else. And then these 4 years almost happened to me on a daily basis.
You wake up hard.
Uh,
Not really.
no, I control myself.
I think it's normal, but I think you can control it with your, like realizing that it's not a natural.
Look, no one's supposed to be experiencing this, okay? A lot of people don't mention what I'm mentioning. It happens to a variety of people. However, I mentioned
But
this.
you have to be very strong.
I couldn't turn a blind eye. I could not mention this. I decided to mention this almost every single day. So every single day, people can realize, what the problem is, what needs to be stopped, and what needs to be corrected, so then something can move correctly moving forward. Some people are lying to people, making it seem that I have technology and I have all this power. It's a bunch of lies. If there is something similar to that, everything has to be true and it has to do with a purpose and has to be realistically what is true. Everything else is lies. They're trying to lie on my name, possibly.
If they're trying to lie to you.
Yeah, a lot of people are trying to lie and blame people. They have nothing to do with anything, realistically. If anything is anybody's, will be abundantly known, and through time, people being honest, people being sincere, people being true, will possibly have a merit, have some type of power. I do have power. My power is true knowledge. That's the good thing about me. I do have true power. My power is true
You have a
knowledge.
lot.
No one can take this away
You
from
were
me.
always, you were always pretty mature. Like
I was.
Yes. Well, not all the time, but
Yeah, I was
like
goofy.
we were.
I was wondering why I was goofy too.
I think the goofiness was trying to maybe, you know, you were trying to mask something. I don't know. Like the goofiness was sort of a shield for you,
Possibly.
possibly.
I was good goofy, naturally goofy, possibly, and then there was. I realized through my changes that there was some type of other
Yes,
goofiness occurring.
that wasn't normal.
That wasn't me. Was a technology abuse.
That was not normal,
Yeah.
right?
No.
I had almost the same thing happen to me. Like at a point, I was like, all right, this is not funny. Like it's a fucking manipulation of something.
Yeah. And then me knowing myself, I could differentiate the difference. Even now, I can differentiate majority of generally everything that is me and that is having to do with me. And especially me knowing myself today, I'm looking at myself in the past, and I'm able to know what is me, what is has nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
People misjudge me, man.
or people.
People misjudge me. People misjudge somebody else. When I say me, I'm talking about everybody generally. That's the true measurement in terms of everybody being misjudged.
Yeah, no, I mean, people misjudge all the time, and they don't know.
Those who misjudge were also misjudged too, though. Those who were deceived were also deceived, though, too. Usually, a lot of groups, a lot of people, the ones that do some type of wrongdoing, also something wrong was done to them, you know? So the entire idea is okay, once you establish that, to understand something, to, consider all the elements, perspectives, perceptions, and to be able to make correct choices and decisions. And the most important thing is to stop, and so that they won't persist. Yet some people, they may be politically influenced, they may be threatened, they may be forced to continue on something, and they may be targets. People thinking, oh yeah, something is stemming from the person, and to be honest with you, it has nothing to do with the person at all. They're just a victim, you know. So all this has to be solved, and whatever anything does occur, everything has to basically be truth and true direction of anything. So most importantly, the domino effect of nonsense doesn't occur. Because many people are misjudged and threatened, and what they do is if they cause issues, if people are onto them, they may misjudge them without considering all the elements, of the story.
Yes.
So usually if I do something, I tell people, hey, you know what, you're wrong in this particular element. I don't misjudge people. I tell them, you're wrong in this particular element, you're wrong in whatever way I'm doing, whatever I'm doing. And I'm not telling them that you're wrong in the totality of everybody, because people are a lot of things. They're not one thing. People are hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions and even infinite things. So how can people generally misjudge something or someone? So there's more to the story. And what needs to occur is there was at one point of time no information known. At this point of time, there's much more information known in terms of what is true, what is false, what is correct, what is wrong, what is normal, what is abnormal, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what is just, what is unjust, what is legal, what is illegal, and so on. And so, therefore, people are able to then make much more correct choices and decisions in terms of whatever anything that is that they're doing to then be able to correct, fix everything. The entire point is to realistically be able to change, correct, fix everything in terms of how something is supposed to be, not how you want something to be. And the problem is a lot of political players, they don't allow something to change correctly. They disregard, groups disregard whomever they pertain to, disregard a lot of elements and manipulate and cheat and do some type of a problem on something or someone, blame, you know, don't allow something to be, and then and infect something or someone else to also be similar to them. and then nothing works that particular process.
They manipulate them, of course.
Yeah, people lie, cheat, manipulate. They're scared. I think a lot of people are scared, and they show their scaredness with toughness. A lot of people you see being tough, they're not really tough. To me, they're realistically scared. I don't make fun of them. I don't want them to be scared. No one should be scared. No one should be stressed. No one should be in fear. No one should be in panic. No one should be in any form of wrong form of feeling or thinking or doing. It's all an illusion. Nothing to do with reality. This is only what some people gotten accustomed to, and therefore fool people and do people that something is normal. It has nothing to do with what normal is. Anybody that is scared, anybody that is stressed, anybody that is in any form of wrongdoing, anything, whatever anything is, the entire point is to get out of that belief, get out of that fear, get out of that stress, get out of all this mentality, so then everything can be reverted back to how something is supposed to be, and then people go from there in terms of what the truth is. And did you just happen to see a glimpse vision of somebody that somebody showed a glimpse vision of me or something? Did you see that?
A glimpse vision?
Yeah, somebody's trying to show people's privacies or something. Could be a wide variety of groups, not one particular group. They're showing people's images. I sensed this more than I saw this. However, I sensed, I knew, I felt what was going on. So, well, could be a wide variety of reasons why somebody's doing something similar to that, or non-reasons. Somebody cause reasons has nothing to do with reason at all.
Like being born gay, there's no reason.
Yeah, I don't think people are born gay. I think that's a misunderstanding, a misconception. I don't believe that to be true.
You don't think it's a team?
No, I saw an animal hump an animal one time. That's just showing dominance. That doesn't equal they're gay. And could animals be seeing visions too that they're doing some type of gay behavior that has nothing to do with them? Manipulation, possibly.
So you're saying I just want to be dominated?
What?
You're saying I just want to be dominated?
There may be some type of traumatic experience or something that you didn't go through in your life that you want to be able to fulfill, and because you didn't get something, you want to be able to fulfill that. And then once you fulfill that, then and get used to that, then you may wonder, there may be a gap in people's lives, in other words, if that makes sense. There may be a gap, there may be some type of a space, some type of a traumatic experience, some type of a manipulation that made people feel or think in a particular style, that until you receive that, you will not ever be satisfied. You won't be fulfilled. There's some type of manipulation similar to that. Then that's what's occurring. There has to be counterbalanced, though. Instead of the person doing something that is abnormal. In other words, you can still be fulfilled. However, you can be fulfilled correctly instead of doing something abnormally. You just got to understand yourself. You just got to understand what part of you is, what that traumatic experience is. What that was that you were going through, to be able to then stop something. For instance, I stopped smoking cigarettes, not in one particular specific element or process, however, a wide variety of elements of processes. I went back to my start, how I started. I challenged myself. I chewed on garlic. And so I backtracked, and then I understood. Understanding, bro. I think a lot of things that people do is a lot of things has to do with misunderstanding.
Yeah, just being misguided.
Misunderstanding, misguided elements of what people were affected with, experienced, understood to be true, were false. Were possibly scared and threatened. There's a lot of fear in a lot of people's lives, from my overall observation. And that fear is the virus of reality.
It is the virus. Fear.
Anything, not COVID, anything, whatever anything may be. Doesn't necessarily have to be COVID. Could be an impression, could be a vision, could be a feeling, could be an image. What?
Like HIV.
HIV. Yeah. Could be a wide spectrum of many things, whatever anything may be. Could be a play out, you know, something going around people's areas, you know, making people hear a sound could be linked to some type of fear, you know, people hearing a sound that doesn't make sense with them.
Yeah, can trigger mechanisms.
Yeah, a feeling people may receive, you know, what's that sound? What's that feeling that people are receiving? A wide variety of things can be linked to what may be the fear of what is occurring. Um, not, I want to say anything is one particular thing, even though one particular thing can be linked to a wide variety of things too, you know? One thing maybe you think is one thing, however, maybe 50, 100 things in one thing that you may never realize. Smoking may give you fear, drinking may give you fear, food may give you fear, music you listen to, movies you watch may give you fear, you know? Sleeping at night, being possibly manipulated with some type of technology can make you fear. There's a wide variety of anything that can make you feel afraid. Some Yeah, somebody may spook you, somebody may be around you, do some type of wrong movement around on you that also may be linked to somebody being afraid. Somebody may play politics and say, "Yeah, I'm afraid." They're not afraid. You know, there's there's people playing games. These games may be making people afraid. There's a word that I say or somebody says that may make people afraid.
It can trigger like triggers.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that.
Getting triggered or causing fear.
Causing fear, possibly. However,
I think so.
however, there's more to the story because I'm talking about a specific moment of my time that I did some type of a spooky thing to someone.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
might have not meant it.
you know what it is. A lot of things that may be stemming from people may not be them realistically, versus things that are. Some people
Yeah,
manipulate. From my understanding, yeah. What were you saying?
no, I'm listening.
Um, from my understanding of what occurred, from my overall perspective of what happened, was a lot of people through people's insecurities, fears, stress, worry, doubts, um, blame.
Flaws.
Yeah, all this stuff they threw on me, bro. All this stuff they threw on me, I filtered this stuff and I was trying to understand where this was stemming from and had to do with literally,
Guilt.
huh?
Guilt.
Yeah, their guilt, everything. And I essentially filtered all that out. I did my best to filter all that out and I tried to make people understand, you know, in terms of whatever it is that I understood. I even mentioned to people that they're seeing the same reflection that they threw on me from me stemming from them, stemming from me.
Yes.
In other words, there's more to the story of everything and anything that ever occurs. What's the point? Well, the point is not to assume, not to misjudge, not to jump into judgment. However, to realistically understand the phenomena of what is occurring, to then be able to speak about something, mention something, type something, talk about something, do something, for then some type of issue not to occur. You know, people are supposed to be realistic. People are supposed to attain knowledge. People are supposed to understand what a choice, what a decision is. Do you know what a choice, a decision is?
Yes. You have to be accountable for yourself.
Yeah, and also the choice, decision. Realistically, the word choice and decision belongs to the root word of truth. Choice and decision, anything to do with true choice and decision, all have to do with what is true. If anything, if you're choosing, if you're deciding anything, whatever anything is, if something is false, does that have anything to do with the nature of this reality or what truth is? Because look, everything in this reality is everything true. Everything else is an illusion. There's just a law, there's just numerous things in reality that are distorted, that are all over the place, that people may be accustomed to think that all of this is um, normal, and therefore people are making a lot of choices and decisions, nothing to do with what is realistically what is normal.
Yeah, well, because they think that that's the truth, but it's not.
Exactly. That's the entire point. That many people think whatever they're doing has to do with something being true, and it has nothing to do with what the truth is.
It's the mentality.
Everybody, in terms of understanding and attaining knowledge, is realistically the answer. Because then, with attaining knowledge, people can make correct choices and decisions and understand what a choice and a decision is. A choice and a decision is what is true. What is true is what is good. What is good is the decision and the choice that people are supposed to be generally making in all elements of reality, generally making and doing. The only problem is, from my understanding, a lot of people have wrong effects, wrong influences, play politics and influence people and force people to make a choice and decision otherwise they wouldn't want to be wanting to make. And then people are then told that they're wrong. You know?
And they feel forced.
Yeah. So that doesn't make the person wrong in terms of people dragging or stooping people down the process. You know how many times people try to drag me and stoop me down the process? Every single day.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah, so
Because they misunderstand. They misunderstand you.
yeah, no one's supposed to be understanding one another, yet people misunderstand one another. Why? Well,
To
because
understand,
huh?
you have to try to understand people.
Well, I'm supposed to try to understand you, Emmanuel, and you're supposed to try to understand me. Everything, no matter anybody, whatever they're doing, is supposed to go both. It's not supposed to be only me understanding you and you disregarding, not trying to understand me.
Yeah. Well, otherwise it doesn't work.
The more I understand myself, is the more I'm going to understand you. The more I understand you, is the more I'm going to understand myself, and vice versa. The more you understand yourself, the more you understand me. The more you understand me, the more you understand yourself. That's what the understanding is.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like people don't try to understand each other. And that's why they judge each
Well, look,
other.
a lot of people are limited of understanding, of agreeing, of disagreeing, of whatever anything it is that they're doing. However, the entire point would be to get out of these limits.
Yeah.
You know, they're not. Nobody's supposed to be limited. Why are they limited? Could it be because of the choices and decisions that they made and wrong choices, wrong decisions that they made? However, was that their fault? That wasn't their fault. Because when you look at the entire phenomena of everything, everything pinpoints to everything and everything that everything is a little bit of everybody's responsibility.
Everyone's responsible for themselves.
Yeah. However, the entire point would be for anybody that is stuck in limits to get out their limits. You know,
But it takes some work, people
everything
to
takes
have a
time.
higher.
Everything takes time. Everything will work. Whatever anything and anyone, everything and anything wants everything to work here on this planet. Everything will work being true and being correct. Yet you have to understand what is true, what is correct. Yet most people don't understand what is true and correct. However, those that do can mention, hey, do this, do this, do this. And doing this, doing this, doing this, at least in time, with time, you'll understand. Because you can't understand everything at once. You know, I have to explain to you 10 things for you to understand that one thing, possibly. And so,
You have to almost teach.
yeah. However,
And I'm willing to learn.
huh?
And I'm willing to learn.
Yeah, everything takes time. Nothing can be at once. Yet some people rush. That's why I tell people, I remind people over and over again. The forbidden elements, anything to do with physical emotional harm, vaccines, pills, sugar, chemicals, or meat, refrain from those type of things. Even animal products. You don't know what the animal products are, in terms of there's unknowns. How is the animal being treated? Is an animal supposed to be in a slaughterhouse? Can you imagine that? They eat nonsense food. They experience wrong, dark, possibly darkness, and they're abused and they're manipulated. They're taken advantage of, and then they're literally killed, and then people eat them.
Yeah, like you eat the trauma.
Yeah, you eat the harm, you eat the trauma, and everything. You know what's fascinating to me? Long time ago, over 10 years ago, I watched a slaughterhouse video of a cow being slaughtered. And depending on how the person's brainwashed, depending on how the person's condition or affected or influenced, literally, you don't think much of anything, You think that's also normal too. And then,
Yeah, you condition yourself. Like,
yeah, and then you go out and then you make barbecue, you buy meat and you eat meat. That was me. Even though, mhm. Yeah, I stopped eating meat. Yeah, they're wrong. That element, they're wrong.
Everyone eats a lot of meat.
Well, they're wrong. I stopped eating meat too. I'm never going to look back because now I understand. Before I didn't understand. Before I was, I didn't have the. Before I was manipulated, possibly not to understand. To be honest with you, because yeah, because also I wanted a lot of changes that I wanted to do. I wanted to do with me and a friend doing something. I felt alone. I didn't want to do something alone. However, then I was like, F everything and everyone, man. I'm going to do something on my own because I believe in something. I was waiting for people to change, so that I could change.
You have to change yourself.
Yeah, that's what I did.
People won't change.
That's what I did. I changed literally every single wrong thing that I imagined was wrong with me, and stopped doing. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, drinking, staying out late. Even now, at this moment of time, there's times where I want to go to sleep early. However, I have important things to say, and I always stay a little bit after 11, 12 a.m. possibly, depending on what day.
Well, thank you for staying up late right now because I know it's already late.
No, literally, one word, one information can change a person's life in terms of them waking up the next morning. You know how significant and valuable everything is, and some people don't understand the significant or value of anything.
But you know how significant and valuable this conversation is right now? To me, it is more than any conversation I've had recently. Like, because there's an understanding. I feel that there's an understanding between us that I feel like with some people you can't get. They just don't understand as much as you try to elevate them.
Yeah, I agree. That's why a lot of times I talk to myself, even though that sounds bad.
Yeah, I mean, you have to like you. I don't know. I have conversations with myself sometimes. I don't know. It's more of an understanding.
Well, with me, I have a conversation with myself, to myself, and to people similar to me. And those people that are not similar to me, I try to make them understand so they could change and be similar. Not to me, however, similar to what the truth is. I don't tell people exactly what the truth is. I try to, guide them to understand what the truth is. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of effects and influences and hypnotized states and conditionings and weird feelings I'm sensing today in this moment of time and every single day. And all this is affecting me to be very, very weird and not be myself and how I'm supposed to be the change or have a correct impact. So a lot of people, what they're doing is they can change, and I agree with them changing and continuing to change. Yet they decide to continue some type of wrong act, then change. You know, it's the very same thing that people want me to do in terms of me mention something, me do something. They're stopping me from mentioning or doing something. You know how you rush something and you realistically slow something down? Instead of doing something correct the first time so then you could move forward correctly? Well, that's what some people are doing in various different elements. They're having the opposite effect. So my question is, do those people realistically want a change to occur? Or are they only acting or pretending? There's a mix. There's people that do and there's people that don't. And there's people that do and don't.
What they want.
Huh?
They have an idea. I think they have an idea what they want, but they can't execute it, or they find it difficult to execute because they're tied down to the manipulation.
That may be also what the answer is, yeah. Yet I'm not trying to bash them. I'm trying to like understand them. However, I feel like they're bashing me. You know,
No, I get that.
it's like this is important. However, if the person is not healed, is not recovered correctly, this won't even be important anymore. This won't even matter because then the person will be unable to do what is in need. You know,
What they need to
every single being upon the face of this earth and everything is different, and everything matters realistically. Yet the very same thing that I know matters, people don't allow me to do correctly. And then they see themselves in some type of a weird reaction. They're like, oh, well, you know, is the person supposed to, you know, be true in terms of me explain what I explain, how I explain with my tone of voice and the speech? Or am I supposed to mask something? I can. However, isn't that the problem? Isn't the masking the problem? Isn't bandaging the problem? Isn't sweeping something under the rug the problem?
Yeah, it is.
There's a purpose of why people mask too. I understand that, you know. There's a purpose because people misjudge and they don't understand and so on and so forth. However, people play politics with this, bro. People play politics with it. They disregard a bunch of elements and play politics with the elements too, you know, and that bothers me, man. I realistically, if you ask me, from what's occurred on me and what I sent back out there, I solved things. I realistically did. And even the reflections that even to this very same second, this very same moment, there's things that are being solved, and there's things that are mixed all over the place, and so everything has to be in place where everything realistically belongs, so people can make correct choices and decisions. If somebody does some type of wrong thing, they see a reflection of me on them. Yet who's going to conform to who? Me to them or them to me?
They're gonna try to do you.
Well, no, I don't care if they conform to me. I care about them changing and being true. I care about them understanding what the truth is. They can conform to what is true. Somebody wants to cause me issues and me be nice to them. Can you imagine that?
It's not about.
Mistakes occur realistically if you're striving to, you know, be correct and be true and be honest. I'm sure, you know, mistakes occur. However, no one's supposed to be playing that with politics and causing issues, expecting people to be nice to them. I don't know what people got people accustomed to. However, that's not normal. That's nothing to do with reality or true reality.
Or to make you feel guilty.
Yeah, guilt trip people, make people feel paranoid. Marty, up, up. Hold on, let me get my dog. I don't even want to say dog because dog is like a weird name too. Have you ever realized the word dog is weird?
The word is it? Why is it derogatory?
Just think about that. You know, dog, is that normal?
What would you call it? More like a family?
You know what? I'm still thinking about that. However, um, I don't want to call him. I don't want to call him a dog. I don't want to even call him a pet. You know, the word pet has been given a wrong name.
It's like a negative connotation.
Yeah, you know, because something is not a pet. You know, wild animals are not pets. Something that is domesticated can be a link to a pet. However, whatever is domesticated, the entire point would be with correct timing of everything for people to undomesticate everything and put everything back in nature where everything realistically belongs. Yeah. However, if nature is corrupted, of course, carrying hands. People that are responsible taking care of the animal is the answer. Until nature is then uncorrupted, so you can put back the animals where they belong. You know why? Because animals in nature are similar to bees. That nature is only operating because of the animals that are in nature. The ocean is the ocean because there's animals in the ocean. You drain the ocean, you know what will turn into? A sewage.
Trash.
You take away the animals from the ocean will be a sewage, one big sewage. Yeah. That's why no fishing is allowed with me. There's been so much harm on animals, on beings, that no hunting is permitted with me, no fishing is permitted with me. Because I have something called understanding.
But I don't fish.
What?
I don't fish. I used to fish. But it's
You used to fish?
just a kid.
That's good. That's very good.
I'm gonna go to sleep. But can we continue to have conversations?
Yeah. If I find that we're having a conversation, our conversation is at least going somewhere, with a purpose and making sense. I love having conversations with people. Anything that realistically is solving something, not some type of.
Yeah, I have a lot to learn from you. I think and I just think a lot of what you are enlightening with, it just makes more sense. I feel like it's unfiltered, unadulterated, unmanipulative. It's more direct. You're very direct.
Well, I don't have to be direct. I can also be less direct. I can do a wide variety of doings. However, I feel like me and somebody or something cannot do everything at once, because there's just too much occurring.
It's too much to do.
Yeah, so realistically, what every country needs to do is stop physical emotional harm on all life forms, put their most trusted officials or any representative or any person in all positions of power, and stop all forbidden elements of whatever anything that they may be doing in terms of buying or selling, producing, creating, and realistically attain knowledge. There's a lot of things that are attached to one another that are all over the place, and people are having wrong effects on one another. In terms of whatever anything or anybody's doing is having a wrong effect. What is that attached to?
Yeah, it's like a dominant.
Yeah, so the domino effect shouldn't be a snowball effect of going in the wrong direction. Everything should be realistically being corrected, fixed, and restored.
Yeah, well, like I want to go in the right direction.
Yeah, well, you're correct.
Everyone.
Yeah, well, everyone does. However, everyone is doing something not the most correctly or understandingly and expecting different results. People want change, yet they're still going out and drinking their brains out, quote unquote, drinking too much possibly, and possibly making wrong choices, wrong decisions, you know,
Yeah.
and then expecting different results. People don't think that something is possible to be done, yet something has been done. I did everything. It's just a matter of me putting something together. That's all.
Yeah, like reckless sex.
Maybe linked to reckless driving. Maybe linked to a rape. Maybe linked Yeah, sexual abuse in terms of technology may be linked to rape.
Yeah. Or being with the wrong person.
Yeah. So people think, everything is about me mentioning something or doing something. They don't realize they have to be similar to me, in terms of understanding, making correct choices, decisions. What would you do? You go to a store, you buy healthy food or you buy junk food? Well, people have the power.
Like that.
Huh?
Probably junk.
You buy junk food?
Both.
Yeah, I stopped buying junk food.
And that's why you're fit.
Last time I drank soda was about a year and a half ago at my friend's house.
Soda.
And I should have not drink that. I just did it to experiment myself in terms of what was what. And I haven't drank soda in like possibly over 5 years. Besides that one soda that I
Yeah,
drink.
soda's pretty bad. Diet Coke.
Yeah,
People think it's healthy. It's not. It's like all these overweight people, like, they think the Diet Coke is gonna make them like, oh, I can drink Diet Coke. It's not gonna be, but it's so bad.
yeah. You know what? The person drinking Diet Coke, there's not even supposed to be any Coke for people to drink or to sniff. There's not even supposed to be any diet word for people to even mention the word diet. All this is an illusion. You know how my phone says end call? I'm not ending anything. I'm just turning my phone off. I'm turning off the call.
Yeah, you're not like ending the conversation.
Yeah, this is technology. Correct term is turn off. It's not end. You see,
turning off the conversation.
there's a mix. There's a mix with a wide variety of many things, and the entire point is for people to understand that, hey, you know what? This is wrong. Why should I be doing this? Why should I be doing that? Doing this equals this equals that. People have to be aware. People have to understand. People have to want to be aware. Have to want to understand. And realistically, everything does have to be updated and evolved to say, hey, you know what? This equals this. If you do this, this will equal this. However, anything that does equal to, why should anybody else suffer because you choose to do something? Look, yeah, the person has to attain knowledge. The person understandingly won't even choose or want to do something that is wrong. Because then they'll understand that something is wrong. Why would you want to choose something even though something equals to some type of suffering? You wouldn't want to do that.
But some people choose suffering.
What?
Some people choose the suffering. They find comfort in the chaos. I don't think some people prefer chaos because it brings them comfort.
Yeah, well, that's supposed to be changed to a point where there's not supposed to be any form of chaos or suffering for people to be comfortable in that or to enjoy that. That's obviously abnormal. That's what keeps a lot of wrongdoings persisting. In reality. So that's the problem. No one's supposed to feel um, wanting to feel wrong, wanting to feel wrong and see a joy in that. See some type of pleasure in that. No, that's not normal.
It's like masochism.
Is what?
It's like masochistic. Like they like the pain. Like some people, yeah, like they prefer.
Well, that may be linked to a lot of problems. And you know what else is going on? You know how people are happy and people want to be happy and everything's working out correctly and everything's working fine? Some people stop people from being happy, from something working out correctly, to deter people, to undermine people, to distract people, to cheat on people, to cause issues, to take people backwards, to claim we're correct, you're wrong, you're correct, we're wrong. Nothing is going to work similar to this. Yet people are egotistical. People know I'm going to be doing a wide variety of doings. You know what they do? They put tentacles on me, do a wrong math on me, want me to do something with the wrong math or with some type of wrong equation. So they stop me from doing something that is correct, that is beneficial for the entirety of the entire face of this earth. Is what they're stopping me from doing when they play some type of politics on me.
On you.
No, they don't play politics. You have to understand everything correctly. If people don't understand everything correctly, they may not understand everything I'm saying correctly either. They may say, "Oh yeah, shrug something off."
It's a puzzle.
They have to understand everything with everything in terms of what is everything.
Yeah, it's they say that it's kind of like
Well, everything in terms of whatever everything is everything that everything is. In terms of everything that people know to be everything in reality. Yet in everything there's a mix.
it's like a Bible.
In the Bible there's a mix too.
It's like parables.
Yeah, speaking of the Bible, here's the Bible here. There's a lot of truth.
Are you religious?
There's a lot of truth to here.
Are you religious?
Well, what's your definition of religious? Because people have different types of definitions of
Are
what
you
religious is.
are you spiritual or are you inclined to one belief? It's like one God.
I'm spiritual.
Same.
Whatever I am, I'm truth. Realistically, what is the definition of truth? Nothing less than.
You don't just kind of stick to one script.
One script.
Or one belief system.
No, because anything or anyone, whatever anything or anyone believes has to be true. Why believe something that is false? People ask me, do I believe Jesus? Well, I do. I believe Jesus was a live person. I believe there was also several Jesus before him. And I believe there's Jesus today. What is Jesus? Well, Christ consciousness is what is Jesus. Love, truth. I do believe Jesus was a person. I do believe that he was a good person. I do believe that he had a very, very powerful role and impact on this life. Usually, a lot of things fail. And when a lot of things fail, people start blaming one another, including Jesus. Jesus was blamed. Many people don't understand the totality of our reality, so they tend to make wrong choices, wrong decisions in terms of what the truth is. Is this about back and forth, so it could be another Jesus, another Jesus, another Jesus? This is about realistically understanding something, establishing something, changing something, so then the dysfunction can be realistically what is a function, and everything can change accordingly to what is true. Everything to do with, realistically, anything to do with any form of physical emotional harm is all lies, nothing to do with reality. And I'm not just saying that, I'm saying that because that's a form of de-evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah, de-evolution.
Deal.
Yeah, because our life is supposed to evolve. We're supposed to evolve in terms of us being human. Animals are supposed to be evolved in terms of being animals, and
We're evolving.
nature is everything is supposed to evolve, huh?
But we're evolving.
Well, we're evolving and we're de-evolving. There's both occurring, and the reason is because a lot of people are making a lot of wrong choices, wrong decisions. My information is shared with literally everybody except people that go against, use opposite, or adapt to what is true and don't apply the answers. So what would be the point of that? And all specifications and variations depend too on some people. Because some people, have to go through a wide variety of processes to be able to be trusted with anything, whatever anything that they're doing. There's more to the story, in other words. I want everything and everyone to be aware. However, everything takes time also with that. Whatever everybody should be aware of is be aware of in terms of everything to do with stop lie reactions, lie opinions, stop forbidden elements in terms of whatever you guys may be engaging in with physical, emotional harm, to do with animal products, to do with pills, to do with vaccines, to do with chemicals, too much sugar, too much abnormal things that people buy, leather. That's from an animal. Animal was, how do people know? Makeup. How do people know if the animal was skinned alive or passed naturally and the skin was taken from the animal? And even if the animal was, huh?
Like they'll test them out alive. And, yeah, like you're experimenting.
Yeah. Are people supposed to be buying junk food when that's adding on to a mess? One person equals 10 people, 10 people equal 100 people, 100 people equal 1,000, and so on and so forth. How many wrong uh, doings occur here on reality?
Hundreds of thousands.
And millions and billions and trillions, and on top of the side effects of hundreds and millions and billions. So, if you ask me, this would immediately be stopped. And then I go outside and people give people different types of impressions and reactions in terms of what they do, making seem though they're partaking in lies versus people that are. Somebody's buying ice cream with possibly 50 grams of sugar inside.
Yeah, no.
They believed something to be true, and they're partaking in something to be true. Excuse me, partaking in something to do with lies. Somebody believes some type of a lie, whatever lie that they believe, and believing the lie in terms of what type of a lie they believed had a wrong adverse effect.
Well, yeah, because you just can't. It keeps perpetuating. Like you just keep making the wrong mistakes, the same mistakes, or the choices.
You what?
Like you keep making the same choices over and over, consistently.
Yeah, and the choice has nothing to do with what the choice is or what the truth is. The choice has to do with what is true. Yet if they're not making a correct choice or decision, then obviously they're making something less than what is a true correct choice and decision. All of this people are doing is also there's more to the story. People are playing politics and possibly making people believe a bunch of lies, partake in a bunch of lies, and therefore making people create a bunch of lies here in reality.
Yeah.
They're influencing and affecting one another to be wrong, so people can. In other words, somebody's throwing dirt on the floor and wants other people to pick up their mess.
Yes. They want them to pick it up.
Huh?
They want them to pick up their slack.
Yeah,
Or
people are having wrong influences, wrong effects, minusing something, putting people in their narratives in their wrong math, and making people make wrong choices, wrong decisions. And then trying to blame people possibly. Guilt tripping, keeping people paranoid. These are dirty game players. They're wrong.
yeah. There's a lot of
Yeah, there's basically supposed to be zero form of suffering. Um, However, you know why there's any form of suffering is because I go outside, I see a person. Wrong is still wrong. Remember this. Anybody, whatever they say, oh no, everything's controlled, everything's fixed, everything's pre-planned, nothing will happen, everything's unattached. Wrong is still wrong. The person realistically going out and making a wrong choice, wrong decision of whatever they're doing, of anything, whatever anything it is that they are doing, is having a wrong effect. Okay? It's having a wrong effect, and that wrong effect is, what's fascinating to me? People may say, oh, look, man, what's going on realistically is, excuse my language, fucking stupid.
in a sense where right just
In a sense where, something is fucking stupid, like illogical, nonsense, wrong, problematic, Lack of understanding. People think that they're correct, and
Lack of common sense.
yeah, they think what they're doing is making sense of whatever they're doing.
They're not.
No, they're not making sense
Well,
at all, and
it's gonna sound
huh? Go ahead.
it's gonna sound bad too, but I think people are just retarded. Like the sometimes the brain cells aren't there because of the food that they eat. The food that people consume, it makes them make stupid decisions.
Possibly,
I think it's part of it.
yeah, possibly that has to do with that. Yeah,
Possibly.
yeah. People making wrong choices, wrong decisions.
Well, if you're available tomorrow, I'd like to continue.
Yeah, just give me a call if I'm not doing if I'm not busy or not doing something more significant. I'll talk to you because I feel like we're also having a conversation too, or maybe we're learning from one another.
Yeah, I like that.
Um,
I'll message you on here, and then if you're available, then I'll let me know. I'll give you.
okay, man.
Okay.
Good talking
Take
to you.
care. You
You
too.
too.
Nice seeing you.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you later. We'll talk later about
Yeah.
that thing, and we'll get to the core of the problem of what something may be in terms of why you may be thinking something.
Whoa. Like why I like to suck dick.
Well,
Everything.
that sounds very weird when you say that. However, I am understanding what you're saying. Um,
Yeah, like I mean, general terms,
yeah, some people for I don't know how long, how many years they've been conditioned of this. However, nothing is impossible to uncondition from. Anybody that says, "Oh yeah, use that excuse," I've been conditioned because I've been conditioned for years and years and years too. Yet I was able to change something on top of all the odds.
Well,
People were pulling me
I
back,
think
not allowing me to change.
you and I think culturally, our cultures they had a big influence on us as growing up, and I feel like we had to detangle that. We had to edit that as we grew up. Like, I'm pretty sure there's things in Armenian culture where you don't agree with it, and there's things in Latino culture where I don't agree with it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of in every single race, ethnicity, group, and everything. It doesn't matter who anything is. What matters is if something
Yeah,
is wrong or if something is unjust, from my point of view, from my perception, because my perception, my point of view is true realities, heaven on earth.
yeah,
So everything less than is wrong to me, and
yeah,
wrong to heaven on earth, and wrong to the earth.
I agree. Just because you're born into that doesn't mean you have to continue.
Yeah, no, people may say, oh well, people may, some people may say, marry this person, you know, and the person is possibly manipulated or affected or brainwashed to really think like, hey, I married this person. Then, like a year later, 2 years later, wonder like, why the heck did I marry that person?
Yeah, and then they meet them.
Yeah, because people are possibly they're not making choices at this. They don't have knowledge of true knowledge. They don't have true knowledge. So then that leaves room
Right.
for error for somebody else to make a choice decision for them.
It's the
Yeah,
pressure that they feel.
is what?
It's the pressure that they feel.
That's one of the elements. You're correct on that. Yeah, the pressure, the insecurity, the experience, what's occurring with them, the effects that they're feeling, who's aware of them, who they're trying to impress, you know? Yeah. A lot of people do something and then wonder why they ever did something.
Yeah. Do you live in LA?
That's why a lot of things what people need to do is realize like, hey, you know what? That's going to happen with a lot of things that I do. I should refrain from this because I'm gonna regret this tomorrow, or a day later or
Yeah.
whenever, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Do I live in LA? Yeah, I live in LA. I live in like near Lake Balboa.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
Yeah. Where do you live? Are you still in LA? Whose house did I go last time? Your house or was that Stephanie's house?
Oh, where is it? Santa Monica? That was my ex.
That was your ex's
My
house?
ex's house.
Your ex in terms of a girl or a boy?
A boy.
Oh. Sorry, if you catch me laughing, don't take personal or anything.
No,
I have nothing against gays or transvestites. I want them to be happy. However, I want them to attain true knowledge, understand what the issue may be, so they can return back to who they're supposed to be.
Well, I appreciate that, and I understand what you're trying to do, and so you gotta take. Trust me, I know the intention. So, okay.
All right, Emmanuel.
Okay, well, have a good night.
Okay, enjoy your night too. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. Yeah, give me a call whenever.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, anytime. I enjoy, in general, I enjoy significant conversations. However, if something is insignificant, I can make that significant, so that's okay too.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect.
No, I enjoy any conversation because in any conversation, I'm able to understand past something and I'm able to realistically make something insignificant significant, possibly,
I get that.
Yeah.
Well, you always have that effect on people.
I don't know. I'm realistically not who I'm supposed to be. I'm still a lot of people's image. I was talking about that earlier today. This conversation is gonna continue to keep continuing.
It continues.
Huh?
It continues itself.
Yeah. A lot of people are a lot of things that they're not. So I'm like me. I'm somebody else. I'm somebody else. I'm somebody else. I'm a little bit of everything. However, the entire point is not to be stuck in this. The entire point is to get out of all of this and be realistically who you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And no one's supposed to be dragging or changing or keeping people backwards. That's wrong. Yeah, people did that to me in the entire midst. So,
But I'm glad you were able to edit that part of yourself.
well, this is a transformational doing of whatever anything is. Everything is supposed to be transformational. So,
Yeah.
something is supposed to transform from bad to less bad to good to how something is realistically supposed to be. Nothing is supposed to get good and then worse and then more worse. That's not the idea. Yet some
It's
people,
supposed to evolve.
yeah, yet some people were possibly, they had a depiction, they had a narrative, they had like a story mode or an image of how something was supposed to be. You know, People wanted me to disregard a lot of things, wanted me to be fake, and said that I failed.
That
Well,
wasn't you.
well, no, I didn't realistically fail. However, I did quote unquote fail because I didn't fit in their image. However, their image was possibly wrong. That's the entire point of everything that I'm doing. To realistically understand everything in terms of what is true, what is false, what is wrong, what is correct, and what are the elements that make something true or false or correct or wrong.
You have to fail in order to understand.
Yeah, and I could have passed easily. I could have been fake, huh?
I guess the person, I think one has to fail in life, at one point
Yeah,
to learn.
yeah, no, yeah, of course. You know, that is a guarantee that sooner or later, at one point of time, people will fail and will make mistakes. However, the point of everything is so good that people before me and after me don't fail and don't make a mistake. that will be the evolution. That will be the way something is supposed to realistically be. I was infected. I was able to get out my infections. I was then infected again. I was able to get out my infection yet again. And so, realistically, the same thing with a lot of people. They're infected and they want to get out of their infection. And the point of anything and anyone will be everything is so good that no one's infected. No one knows about a virus story. Or if they do, their true self and their true knowledge and they're mature enough to handle a conversation where something is not going to control them, they're going to control that something else.
Yeah.
Anything, whatever anything may be.
Or anything.
Yeah. What are you good at, man? Like, are you good at? I want to start conversating with a lot of people, and I want to start building a team in terms of. I have a lot of information, man. I have like literally thousands and thousands of hours of information, and I want to be able to literally. I can do something on my own at the same time. I want to do something with other people and on my own. Yeah, in terms of making videos, creating something and something else and something else and something else. So, what are you good at? Are you good at like making videos? Are you good at editing? Are you good at typing? What are you good at?
I like typography and stuff. Typography, you like to write. You like stuff that's written.
Topography?
Like, do you like writing stuff? Or do you like dictating and having somebody write for you?
When you said
Like, have you ever written?
wait,
Have you ever written?
when you said sorry, I didn't hear you. I didn't understand you. When you said dictating, you said dictating.
Yes. Yeah, dictating.
What is that? Well, I know what dictating is. Like you
Like,
dictate something or someone, correct? Or what is your definition?
Like you have an assistant that's like you're like for example
Oh,
you're doing a video, right? And then you do a video and then you have somebody that is writing down your ideas but putting them together to form maybe like a structured booklet, like a kind of just putting your ideas together and making them almost into a book, if that makes sense, or a magazine, or everything you're saying, but put it into like writing. If you need that, or some sort of editing stuff, like it could be like stuff that draws people's attention, like animation.
animations
Like
work.
whatever you're, like what you're speaking about,
Mhm.
like illustrating that, illustrating it,
Yeah, illustrating, drawing, writing.
presenting it, yeah, like presenting it. That. I can send you some stuff. I mean, so you can see what I'm talking about.
Well, the thing, yeah, sure, go ahead. The thing with me is there's literally like a ton. When I'm talking about information, I'm talking about a ton of information. However, in other words, I have a lot on my plate. I'm trying to get to everything and everyone. The only problem with one person, I can't be doing this. In terms of this particular method of what I'm doing. Of course, there's other methods of what everybody else is doing in terms of what I'm doing and what they're doing and what I'm doing. It's correspondence together. However, I'm talking about me shifting this position of what I'm doing to something else. The only thing is so I feel like something is all over the place, whereas something all over the place has to be distinguished, be in place, and then continue in some type of particular method or process of how something is supposed to be. So I think there's just too
Like
much going on, bro. I think there's just too much. Huh?
Like organizing.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely organize myself. However, yeah, exactly. Me organizing myself, me running an errand, me talking, me typing, there's just too much going on at once. What happened to me was overbearing. with just this ongoing thing that occurred. And if that didn't occur, everything would have been on that on point. Everything, everybody's answers would have been answered, question would have been answered, and everybody's doing would have been done possibly a long time ago. People possibly made a lot of wrong choices, wrong decisions stemming from fear, and this is the result. You know, something is less than of the ocean.
Well, we have setbacks. We have setbacks.
Yeah, this bothers me a lot because I'm a perfectionist realistically. So everything that is disorganized and all over the place bothers me, you know, it has a wrong effect on me. And so
Well, maybe you can go organize your place.
what?
Maybe you can go organize for you.
No, this is no, I can do this. This is not a lot of work. It's just a lot of work when something is ongoing and I'm continuing something and all this is occurring, you know, and I haven't recovered and now I need a healing process. So,
It's a distraction.
hmm?
It's a distraction.
Yeah, there's a lot of distractions. No, you're not distraction. I like having conversation with people, especially like the conversations uh, moving somewhere and equaling to something, you know.
Well, you just let me know what you need.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep in touch. Just give me a call tomorrow. We'll talk. We'll go from there. Over talking to one another, we'll see roughly, you know, in terms of what we're understanding,
Yeah.
what you're understanding, what you're perceiving, what
Yeah,
you're saying, what
I
I'm
think if I don't
perceiving, what I'm
understand,
understanding. Huh?
yeah. And I think if I don't understand something, I'm just gonna ask you.
Yeah. That's basically the point, you know. I feel like a lot of things can be solved. I think people make a lot of fuss about a lot of things and realistically make something more than of what something is. That may make sense depending on the elements of what exactly is occurring, and then that may have a wrong effect in terms of that not making sense either.
Yeah, because it's kind of confusing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would just suggest to anybody to refrain from any form of false thing that they're accustomed to that they think is normal, because that is basically feeding something else is taking place, and people are wondering why the problems keep persisting.
Yeah, like making the same mistakes and substances,
Yeah.
smoking a lot of weed, drinking a lot.
Whatever anything may be that is bad for you and may be out of balance may have an adverse effect. Even if some people claim that something is good for you, if something is good for you and is not good for something or someone else, if the person is also true, then something may be bad. If something is good for you and somebody's wrong, it doesn't have to be good for them, you know? Because the person that is wrong is not true, is supposed to change and be true to then claim that something is good or bad for you.
And they're not taking in the lies.
They're not what?
They're not. The person that's doing it is not taking in the information.
Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of people that are liars, they claim that truth is bad. What? Truth is supposed to change and then it's supposed to be lies?
Like it's supposed to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, the lies are the bad for what is true. The truth, you know, cannot be bad for what is lies. If the truth is bad for lies, the lies have to change, not the truth. Yeah, a lot of what I'm saying all has to be reminded, you know, in terms of whatever anything may be. I'm glad I had this conversation with you because this, I mentioned this before. However, very very good idea, similar to what I was mentioning earlier today. A lot of people are possibly trying to hide something where it's significant and relevant that needs to be known, so that people can change according to what is truth. No one can change accordingly to Mars. You know, is the Earth supposed to change to Mars and be Mars-like? Or is Mars supposed to change to Earth and be Earth-like? Can't have two Marses.
No,
There's no life.
it's not supposed to work that way.
Yeah,
They want
exactly.
to discover life on Mars, but there's microbial life, but it's not.
Well, I know there's. Yeah, of course. I'm just giving it like an example. There's no life on Mars. What are you supposed to do? Deplete the Earth? Also be Mars? No, it's supposed to be Mars. It's supposed to be Earth. Excuse me. Mars is supposed to be Earth.
Well, that's kind of a lie that I think.
I think a lot of people are lying to themselves and lying to others.
But it can never be like Earth.
Mars?
Yeah.
I think if Earth has a very, very good change and all beings have a very, very good change, what will occur is Earth will change and be similar to heaven on Earth, and then heaven on Earth, Mars to be similar to Earth, and then heaven on Mars. Yeah.
But that thing, I think maybe 1,000.
You know what? Depends on how the level of insight, the level of understanding, the level of change, the level of organizing, planning, and putting everything together. We may see this in our lifetime. To be honest with you, it's just a matter of everything being correct. The most correct everything is, the most correct everything will be. So just a matter of putting everything together in terms of how everything is supposed to be, in terms of what the truth is. People are supposed to understand what the truth is and change everything according to what the truth is, to then be able to plan, organize,
At the end.
be on the same page, be aware, change accordingly, and do everything that they need to do. This can be seen in our lifetime. This can be seen in people's lifetime that are 70 years old, 80 years old, 90 years old, even 100 years old. The more good effects everything and everyone has on one another, the more correct changes and occurrences will be made. And the person that's 100 years old will be 110 years old, will be 120 years old, 130 years old. The person that is unable to reach 110 years old may be influenced and affected with a variety of wrongdoings that is interconnected with everybody's life. It may have a wrong effect on that person's life. That person may have a wrong life's a wrong effect, and therefore live a less of a life, than they're supposed to live. And yet, some people did this to me nonstop every single day, and wanted me to, I don't know, be fake or something.
Yeah, not be genuine with yourself.
Yeah, and me being real, the problem is known, is seen, is understood. Then something is changed.
You have to live your truth.
Well, not my truth, the planet's truth. My truth is the planet's truth. I can't be selfish and naive and egotistical and think that something is my truth. My truth is the planet's truth. My truth is the same, similar truth, similar to the planet. And the planet is good. The planet is holy. The planet is sacred. The planet is keeping everything alive. The planet is keeping everything moving and in motion. And we have to thank the planet in terms of being able to wake up the next morning. And of course, every single life form on this planet, that is truth, that is similar to what is truth. Therefore, literally keeping everything alive, intact.
Yeah. Well, it provides for us. Planet provides for us to function, to live.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think a lot of us take it for granted.
We're supposed to be valuing everything and appreciating everything and being much more thankful and giving. We're supposed to be much more giving than we're taking. We're taking too much.
I think so.
Yeah. You know what else is going on? While I'm having a conversation with you, there's a belief game going on. There's different types of groups, different types of perceptions, different types of beliefs, different types of choices and decisions, and all this is having a wrong effect, wrong impact on people's lives and how they're affected, what choices, decisions that they're making, and what the truth realistically is. And then people are changing what the truth is to something less than, to something less than, to something less than. Somebody's changing the color blue and changing the color blue to red.
They're manipulating.
Yeah, it has to be reverted, man. You know, all this has to be reverted. Has to be known where that's stemming from and taken back in how something is supposed to be, not the way something is. If something is done over and over and over again, it doesn't make sense, you know. All that does make sense is what the information really is for people to make correct choices and decisions. Why would anybody turn a blind eye? You know, if people are playing politics or whatever they're playing, it has nothing to do with my reality. Nothing will work. Huh?
For their convenience.
Yeah, you know, they're not similar to the planet's tongue, beneficial for all, realistically, generally. Yet the planet is beneficial for all, yet the planet is mixed, yet any being that is mixed is supposed to change and be similar to the planet in terms of being a benefit to self, other life forms, and the planet, you know? Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go now.
Okay.
I'm gonna fall asleep. I have to wake up at 4. But thank you, and I'll message you again.
Okay. Have a good night, sleep well, and we'll talk later.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later. You can hang up the call. All right. So that's a conversation, you know, in terms of people speaking to one another. However, not really, because everything is still mixed all over the place. The point is whatever people are doing has to be with a purpose generally. Otherwise, everything is less than what the purpose of anything is. You know, some people they have this particular style of something, of wherever anything is, you know, a standard. I agree. I agree with many standards. Okay, I do. However, with that said, people cannot then also be disregarding various other elements in reality. You know,